calling to order the City Council special meeting of October 20th. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Edgar?
Here.
Councilmember Gross?
Here.
Councilmember Kusamoto?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Murphy?
Here.
Mayor Graham Mejia?
Here. Moving on to special orders of the day, 3A, interview applicants for commissions. We have Mr. James Main up first. He is not here yet, so we will go on, and if it's okay, Josh, we'll move on to you. Okay, great. Why don't you go ahead and step up to the podium? Council, we'll just go ahead and start with Troy with the questions and work our way down this way, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Good, Troy.
And welcome to Los Alamitos, and thank you for your service at Southland Credit Union.
Thank you very much.
There's 5 questions. I get the opportunity to ask you the first one. What special traits, characteristics, or experience do you bring to the Parks and Recreation and Cultural Arts Commission?
Sure. Well, I can say I am a new resident. I've only been here for 1 month, I put on there, but I've been working in the community for 5 years. Part of that's with Southland Credit Union. And the great experience that I've had is working with the department, specifically with Corey and the Community Service Relations District through Race in the Base and other events. You know, having seen that, having seen what the Recreation Department does, the parks that I enjoyed, is one of the main reasons why I moved to Los Alamitos to begin with. So that kind of level of passion is what I want to bring to the commission. It's something to make sure that my family can enjoy it later on, and that's kind of why I'm here as well. So the characters of having is that passion. It's really come from the experience of working with the department as well, and then also knowing previous experience with the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce, you know, having that kind of level of management through working the commission and hopefully bringing that as well here to Los Alamitos.
Great. Thanks, Josh.
Rich.
Hi, Josh. Thank you for applying. Why do you want to serve on the Parks Commission?
I want to say the events that are here are truly special. Race in the Base is one, but there's also partnerships as well. You know, the city has a great partnership with the Joint Forces Training Base regarding the pool. That's something I know that the Parks and Recreation, oversees as part of the department. But there's also a lot of other community events that are there. You know, like I said, I want to make sure it's my family. You know, I have an 8-month-old son, a 2-year-old niece, who's going to be living with me as well. Those are the kind of things I want to make sure that we can protect to make this the great community that we do have. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's kind of why part of serving on the commission is to make sure I can keep those same great functions here.
So kind of self-interest?
It's all about the family.
Well, I could say, self-interest, but also the community too.
Yeah.
It's the same reasons why I moved here, same ways people that want to move here too, and why it makes a desirable area to live in Los Alamitos.
Yeah. Well, you've proven that with all the things you've helped us out with and been involved with. So we'll move on to question number 3. What do you think are the issues that face the Parks and Rec and Cultural Art Commission, if you think there are any?
I think the biggest challenge I would face the commission, especially the department, is going to be funding. From what I understand, the programs that the city puts on, specifically with the Parks and Rec and that commission, has to be self-funded. You're relying on getting sponsors, you're relying on level of efficiencies by making sure you have great contacts with those that you have. Securing that funding, whether that's through sponsorships or through other means, is probably one of the chief concerns that we continue to have those services without taking from the general fund.
Right. Great answer. Thank you.
Hi, Josh, and delightful to see you here. Surprised you're a resident, and delightfully so. In your own words, what do you feel the role of the Parks, Rec, and Cultural Arts Commission is in Los Alamitos?
It's really a strategic planning, I think, for my part. That's going to be the oversight. It's not to manage the day-to-day operations of that specific park, but really kind of seeing what is there, laying a framework for the future, and making sure what is being accomplished is being held to a standard, while also reporting to the City Council. It plays a role within government, and you need say good commissions in order to provide you viable intelligence, viable action that you can have to make your recommendations on.
Thank you.
Thanks for moving to Los Al
Of course.
and applying for the commission. Did they tell you in advance that each commissioner has to prepare for $10,000 in contributions?
Southland Credit Union is a great donor.
That's not my question. When considering the actions of the Parks and Recreation Commission, how would you balance the interests of the entire community against the likes and dislikes of yourself or your neighbors?
The first thing, when I serve on the other boards, specifically Chamber of Commerce, what I have, and I tell myself, is that the ego is checked at the door. This is not about, specifically me, putting the interest on there, but really what is best for the position you're serving, the board you're serving. The Chamber of Commerce, we serve the members from the Chamber. It's in the best interest, not my own interest, not the credit union's interest or anything else. Same thing with the Parks and Rec Commissions. What is going to be the best for the city? How can we accomplish this for the most people and get the most enjoyment out of this while still maintaining that level of service? So it's going to be, say, siloed, but it's really going to be in the confines of within that commission. The scope of that is how I at least view it, and how I view the other boards I sit on as well for the Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much.
Great. So do you have any final comments you'd like to give, or do you feel you've expressed everything that you have interested in these questions?
I appreciate the opportunity on there too. I heard I wasn't recognized on there, but I'm very happy for the opportunity. I know I have not lived in the city very long, but I hope that is overlooked by the passion I bring within the council.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just one comment. I had a question for the city attorney before. You will have to watch if you are appointed to the Parks and Recreation Committee, which I'm pretty sure will probably happen here. But your employer, being Southland Credit, is the biggest sponsor for the Parks and Recreation Committees, and we have another person that's on another commission that potentially has conflict issues on some of the important issues there. And I would just say a word to staff just to be careful, and if this vote goes through successfully, that we watch out for you, make sure that you don't vote on something you shouldn't.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, my experience with city government is limited. This would be the first, say, attempt in foray into that. But I will recuse myself if there's any conflict of interest. And, as Southland's perspective on there, we want to be a part of this community, and we want to support that community. And that's really where it lies, it stops at. So as long as there's no conflict of interest between there, I will recuse myself if there's any other conflicts that we have.
Great. Well,
Thank you.
both Southland and yourself have been great assets to us, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and move on to Mr. Hammond, if you'll step to the podium. Same order of questions. Welcome.
Thank you.
Troy, your first up.
All righty. Get there. Good evening, Mr. Hammond. What special traits, characteristics, or experience do you bring to the Cable Commission?
Well, I have technical interest in broadcasting in general, and I have scientific training. Specifically with respect to the cable function, I have undergone one of Kirk Stevens' last training sessions in the use of the equipment, as it was, whenever that was, 7 or 8 years ago. Right now, the cable function doesn't really have a significant amount of its own equipment. So anything that anybody would become expert on they would have to learn it, and I would be eager to do so.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for applying.
Thank you.
Why do you want to serve on the Cable Commission?
Well, I want to make sure that the cable TV function within this city gains as much prominence as it can, especially considering that it's been working for 30 years and producing great programming, providing an opportunity for residents of the city to express themselves. And I want to do what I can to help that happen.
Thank you.
Great. Glad to see you applying.
Thank you.
What do you think is the issue that's most significant facing the Cable Commission?
Well, the most difficult problem is funding. I think much of that has been solved by the large number of potential producers that have come forth that have been presented, I guess, to you through John Underwood, people that are willing to finance programs through self-funding. The station itself can't do anything unless it gets some equipment. Equipment that it's had in the past has worn out, and for a very long time, the only programs that have been produced using the equipment and the expertise of the producers themselves. Most people don't have that.
Great. Thank you very much. Warren?
Thank you. Thank you for applying. So in your own words, what do you feel that the role of the Cable TV Commission is in Los Alamitos?
The major role that I see right now would be to provide the public with an opportunity to critique cable TV broadcasting and production within the city. Right now, that is not happening, and if I become a commissioner, I'm going to work to make sure that the cable TV meetings are always held and are never canceled, so that the public will have the opportunity to come in and express themselves. When they do so, that will give commissioners such as myself the opportunity to see what the will of the people is in anticipation of the next question. But we can't do it as long as we have so many meetings being canceled. There should be no concept, in my view, of meetings being canceled for lack of business, specifically with the Cable Commission, because the Cable Commission, if nothing else, should be able to discuss among themselves and anybody else who wants to attend what the status of the programming that is going on. Let's not have any more meetings being canceled.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Dean?
Thanks again for coming in, Stephen. Persistence pays off, I think. When considering the actions of the Cable Commission, how do you balance the best interests of the community versus your own personal interests, those of your friends or neighbors?
Well, I happen to be vain enough to think that that many of my personal interests are the interests that the members of the community would have. I've been trying to look at it and seeing what does the community want out of a cable TV function, and certainly there's a long history of public access TV producing shows all over the country. Wayne's World is an extreme example of that, but the point is that the public had access to the shows. Now, if we have to the programs, if we have a commission which meets regularly and all the time, the public will have the opportunity to come forth and express their opinions of the football coverage or the special events that we have. And then we will be able to know what the public wants. Therefore, the question of my putting my desires above the need of the public will become moot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any closing comments for the council?
Only that I really want to be on the commission. I want to get involved in TV production in the city, like it looked like I was going to be able to do when I took those courses so long ago, when I participated in the production of various shows in Los Alamitos. I think we need to get back on board.
Great. Well, thank you for your continued interest, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so do we want to go ahead? Wendy, do you have the ballots?
Mayor, I got a question.
Sure.
This question's for staff. City Manager, for the Cable Commission, when you look at all of the folks that have either resigned, got promoted to the City Council, or are going to expire here in December 2014, really, if Stephen is successful in his bid, which he probably will be tonight, you've got basically two other people on the commission after December. They haven't been meeting that frequently. I do follow the meeting minutes. Are we putting people on a commission that's actually going forward? Is there a time that we, as a city council, are going to actually talk about this? Because I guess my biggest concern is, we just keep putting people on stuff and we don't give them guidance as a city council or staff, and I can't tell who's canceling the meetings, staff, the commission, or us. I don't think we are. I just want to kind of have an idea from your perspective of what are we wading into here and appointing people to this commission?
Thank you, Councilmember Edgar and City Council. Yeah, we have canceled some of the meetings. Some of them have been for lack of quorum. Some have been for, I've canceled them for lack of what I thought, lack of business or the need to move forward with the direction that the council provided at the workshop. So the biggest thing I've been working on is the putting together, and we've got a request for qualifications at this point for cable services and the cable function and the future of cable as the council discussed at the last workshop. And the most difficulty I've had is getting consultants to submit the request for qualification to. I recently have received really solid information from the person that's in charge of the cable function over at the City of Seal Beach, Robin, and she's provided me with a consultant that used to work for the City of Garden Grove that may be able to be bidding on this as an independent contractor. I think it's a concept that may work, but I've put a call out to that person, trying to get more information. I've been contacting City of Long Beach, the other cities that are in the Public Cable Television Authority, which is a joint powers authority made up of 4 different cities, to find out what they're doing. So it's been educational for me, and I want to be able to, hopefully at the next meeting, the Cable Commission, provide an update on where I am with the RFQ, and hopefully get someone to submit a bid on this so that we can then bring it back to the full council for the future of cable. I mean, I think that's where it is. That's why I've been hesitant to take items to the Cable Commission recently, because we've received that direction from the council that I'm moving forward with right now.
Okay, all righty. Thank you.
All right, so did everyone turn in their ballots?
No.
Okay. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to rush you. I know it's going to be hard to make a decision.
So Mayor, with James, we're not doing anything there because he's not here?
He's not here, so, I mean, he's welcome to, when we reopen it, I guess, reapply.
Okay.
Hope everything's okay with his family. I know his son was sick before.
I noticed.
I put my name on mine. Rich, did you turn yours in? I saw you give one to Troy, but I didn't see yours. He's holding out.
He was strong-arming me.
Yeah.
Check that one off.
Okay, we have 5 indications of support for Josh Wilson and 5 indications of support for Stephen Hammond.
Okay, so we make a motion?
A motion and a second.
Okay, so since they're both unanimous, just do it in one motion if we could. All right, do we have a motion for appointing both of the gentlemen?
I'll make a motion to appoint.
Second.
All in favor? Or is this a roll call, Wendy? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Good, thank you.
Careful what you get yourselves into.
Mayor, could
Yeah.
I bring up an inquiry at this point, and the city attorney will shut me off, but as it relates to, the commissions, I've discussed with you the feasibility of inviting appointed commissioners back to the next council meeting. So in the case of Mr. George, who was appointed, inviting Mr. George and these 2 candidates back perhaps in November, and allow their spouses to come if they would like to, but to formally recognize them as appointees and give them a certificate of being on the commission, so that the community is aware of who's doing that. Is that something that? the
That sounds great to
consensus-
me.
The consensus of the council would be to start that practice?
Rather than ask for consensus of the council, the mayor thinks it's fine. I'm sure if anybody has any serious objections, they'll let staff know and it'll be pulled. But otherwise, I think it'll probably happen.
Thank you.
So if you gentlemen can put on your calendars the next regular meeting, we would like to recognize you and, you know, give the community the opportunity to see who you are so they know who to hit up if they have any questions. Okay? All right, thanks. So we'll go ahead and go into closed session. City Attorney?
Yes, the purpose of the closed session is twofold. There's a request to confer with labor negotiator myself regarding Los Alamitos City Employees Association pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. And there's also a closed session request to confer with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, pending litigation pursuant to subdivision D4 of Section 54956.9, and there's one potential case.
Okay.